Today is July 3rd, and that marks this as the 1 year date that I've been carrying this Taurus G2c. I bought it last year, 4th of July, at an Academy store to celebrate my freedom that year, and I have been nothing but pleased with this ever since. It has a 3.2 inch barrel, so that puts the length, in my opinion, really good for a carry gun. It's not too long. The handle's not going to be sticking out. At least for me, I don't have any problems carrying this. Very comfortable. I don't have printing issues with an extended handle, or a grip, I should say. And I really don't notice it much when I'm wearing it. I get to where I don't feel it gouging into my side or anything at all. As far as the barrel length, in a defensive distance, maybe up to 7 yards, 10 or so at the most, I can get really good groups with this, but that comes with practice, of course. Maybe putting a hole about that size, nice tight group, thousands of rounds. And in those thousands of rounds, I've had 3 malfunctions or stoppages that were all ammo related, actually, and so far nothing with the gun. The only problem I've had was tightening the rear sight down. I had to do that twice, but it's been hundreds if not 1,000 rounds since I've had to do that, so I haven't had to add any Loctite. I know some people have done that to their G2Cs or other pistols, and that's fine too, but you can adjust these sights for windage and elevation, which when I picked up a G3, that did not have the two-way adjustment, but it ended up working out. I didn't need the vertical adjustments on that pistol, thankfully. This gun I like because it's already been cleared. I like the trigger a lot. I'll do it this way. The reset really short, and to me this is a fairly ideal trigger. It's just what I like. It's a preference thing. There's some people that say they don't like this stock trigger at all, and that's fine if that's what they like or dislike in this case. And there are upgrades you can put. The G3 trigger, a lot of people say it's a big difference. I don't notice so much of a big difference myself, but again, that's just me and how I feel things. I really like pretty much everything about this pistol. The price, I ended up getting a crazy good deal on it. It was on sale, and it went on a bigger sale shortly after I got it, and they met the difference there. And then additional discounts I had added up. I think this gun was maybe $150 for me at most. Right now, if you can get your hands on one, they're probably going to be in the maybe $230-ish range. It's been a while since I've even seen them anywhere listed as available, so I'm not completely sure. With the new G2c that Taurus has just recently come out with, almost exactly the same thing. They put the G3 trigger in it. It's the same length, same dimensions. The slide is cut slightly differently because the G2c will have the front slide serrations. This one, of course, only has the rear slide serrations. The loaded chamber indicator here is tactile when you have a round in there. I don't right now, as you can tell, so it's not going to pop up, but I like that feel, actually. I've actually found that I've looked for that and felt it with my finger before, more than I thought I would when I first bought the pistol. I like that tactile one. On the G2c and the G3, the full-size one, it just has the peephole. It's fine. It's not a deal breaker for me. Some people might even prefer it that way. As far as the mag release, pops it right on out, ejects it. No problem there, especially if it's weighted down with a loaded magazine. Not going to have any problems with that when you're gripping it. I haven't had to adjust my grip or anything on it. I do have one pistol that I've kind of had to get used to with that, but this is completely natural feeling. All the controls are very usable. Doesn't take too much to release the slide with your shooting thumb. You don't have to adjust. At least I don't. Works well for me. I like the price point on this, and I'll do another video on carry guns and getting more into it. Why I carry a gun that doesn't cost very much. But this one's been really reliable for me. The only problems I've had were ammo related. Functionally, this thing hasn't given me any troubles in the thousands of rounds. I'm going to show one little thing. I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera, but right in here is a little bit of a wear on a corner. It's pretty much worn flat now, but it hasn't done anything for the mechanical performance of the pistol. I don't have enough rounds through my G3 to see if it has the same kind of an issue as far as design goes. If it's not functioning improperly, not causing stoppages, I'm not worried of it. The stainless steel guide rod is an upgrade option, but I am still working with the polymer one that comes with it stock, and I don't have any plans unless this eventually gives out. But Lakeline LLC does have really good options for that, and they're cheap, as well as the striker guide assembly here. It's plastic on this stock, and there's the stainless steel options. But until it becomes a problem, or if it ever does, I don't plan on replacing anything. Just like with the trigger, if this trigger ever goes out on me, I will replace it with another stock trigger on it, because that's just what I like, what I find comfortable for it. I have heard the rumor that the G2c here is going to be replaced with the new G3c that recently released. I think that's fine if it happens, because it's not different enough of a gun to say, oh well, this is irreplaceable. It's a different gun. It is definitely different in some aspects with the G3c, but the holster compatibility that I've heard about, I've seen at least with leather ones, I'm sure that works. I have seen one person test it with a Kydex holster, and because of the different shape here on the front of the slide, that the G3c doesn't have the cutout, it doesn't quite line up perfectly, and it won't allow you to put the G3c in the Kydex holster, at least in that instance. It depends, of course, on how the Kydex holster is made, but it does take the same magazines. So when I get my hands on a G3c, I will probably carry it. Definitely not getting rid of this, but I'm not worried about this one, being stopped in production because of the G3c and how almost exact it is, especially with the dimensions. The weight is almost exactly the same. The sights are going to be different on the G3c. These are just really basic 3-dot sights. They're not that bright. They've been working fine for me, but not that I haven't done a lot of low light stuff or any low light stuff with this pistol, so it hasn't been a big problem. But the sights on the G3c will be something that I'm kind of excited for, with the compatibility with Glock sights, because there's going to be who knows how many options for that. The stock sights, will probably be fine for me, and I most likely would keep the stock sights on the G3c, but it's really going to be nice that they have the Glock compatibility for the sights to give people plenty of options for that. But that being the biggest differences, I'm not worried about this one not being produced anymore, because we have the new version of the G2c, basically. It's not bad at all. This, if you can still get hands on it, even with the G3c out, the G2c is a wonderful option for carry. Again, it's been completely reliable for me. I've heard very little bad about it. The most consistent complaint has been about the trigger, and to me that's just a personal preference issue, not a functional problem. It does have the double strike capabilities, which I've tested because of those ammo issues I mentioned, and you can just keep pulling it. If you get a dead round, that's an option for you there. The G3c also does that. So again, I look forward to having the G3c, but this is always going to be a special place in my gun-loving heart for the G2c.